I sat quietly in the imposing boardroom of Anderson Global Holdings, watching my father's smug expression as he prepared to deliver the news he'd been waiting years to announce. The mahogany table gleamed under soft recessed lighting, and 23 board members shifted nervously in their leather chairs, avoiding eye contact with me. Sarah, my father began, straightening his Hermès tie. As chairman of the board, it's my duty to inform you that your position as chief investment officer is terminated, effective immediately. I kept my face carefully neutral, though my hand tightened slightly around my Mont Blanc pen. 5 years of careful planning had led to this moment. The board has voted unanimously, he continued, clearly savoring each word. Your recent investment strategies have been deemed too aggressive and potentially detrimental to shareholder interests. Around the table, heads nodded in rehearsed agreement. These were my father's old guard, men who'd been doing business the same way since the 1980s, watching their portfolios grow fat on safe, predictable 6% returns while the world of finance transformed around them. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Dad asked, his tone dripping with false concern. I checked my watch. 9:59 a.m. Right on schedule. Actually, I replied, I think we should wait for. The boardroom door opened, and Patricia Chen, our corporate secretary, walked in precisely at 10 a.m. Her heels clicked against the marble floor as she approached my father, holding a single document. I apologize for interrupting, Mr. Anderson, she said, her voice clear and professional, but I've just received urgent documentation that must be entered into the meeting minutes. My father frowned, reaching for the paper. This meeting is closed, Patricia. Whatever it is can wait until. It's a disclosure of ownership filing, Patricia continued, undeterred. Quantum Edge Capital has acquired 73% of Anderson Global Holdings voting shares as of 9:45 a.m. this morning. The room erupted in confusion. Board members grabbed their phones, frantically checking stock alerts. My father's face drained of color as he scanned the document. Impossible, he whispered. These shares weren't for sale. We have ironclad agreements with our major shareholders. I corrected him, standing up. Those agreements expired at 9:44 a.m. today. Really, Dad, you should read the fine print more carefully. What are you talking about? He demanded. I walked to the head of the table, where he sat in his chairman's seat. Quantum Edge Capital is my hedge fund. I founded it 3 years ago, using the trust fund money Mom left me, the money you couldn't touch. Realization began dawning on faces around the table. These men had watched me grow up, had patronized me at company events, had dismissed my modern investment strategies. Now they were beginning to understand. That's not possible, board member Harrison sputtered. You're only 28. 29, I corrected him. And in those 29 years, I've learned a few things. Like how to turn a $100 million trust fund into a $3 billion hedge fund. Or how to quietly buy up shares through shell companies while old men were too busy congratulating themselves to notice. You can't do this. My father stood up, his face red. The board won't allow. The board. I laughed. Dad, I own 73% of voting shares. I am the board now. I turned to Patricia. Please note in the minutes, as majority shareholder, I'm calling for an immediate vote to restructure the board of directors. This is outrageous. Harrison shouted. We built this company into a dinosaur, I replied calmly. While you were all playing golf and reminiscing about the good old days, I was building something that actually works. Quantum Edge's returns last year? 312%. Anderson Global under your leadership? 7.2%. My father slumped in his chair, 20 years of authority evaporating in minutes. Why? He asked quietly. Why do this to your own family? Family. I picked up the termination notice he'd been so eager to deliver. Was it family when you blocked my promotion to head of international trading? When you told the board I was too young to handle major accounts? When you gave my strategies to Jack Harrison Jr. and called them brilliant? The room fell silent. Harrison Jr., sitting near his father, suddenly seemed very interested in his shoes. Ms. Anderson, Patricia interrupted, Bloomberg is reporting the acquisition. CNBC is requesting comment. Thank you, Patricia. I smiled at the shell-shocked faces around me. Now, Gentlemen, this meeting is adjourned. Security will escort you to clear out your offices. Your termination packages, which are far more generous than the one you planned for me, will be processed by HR. You're firing everyone? My father asked incredulously. Not everyone, I replied. Just the board. Oh, and Dad? That corner office you love so much? Have it cleared by noon. I'm having it renovated for our new chief technology officer, a brilliant woman you rejected for being too disruptive. As security began entering the boardroom, I gathered my things. Patricia, please distribute the press release announcing our new board structure and digital transformation initiative. And call Alice Chen, tell her she starts as CTO on Monday. You'll regret this, my father called after me. The shareholders. I am the shareholders, I reminded him. And the only thing I regret is not doing this sooner. Walking out of the boardroom, I heard phones buzzing with trading alerts. Anderson Global's stock had jumped 30% on news of the acquisition. By day's end, it would be up 50%. In the elevator down to my new office, the CEO's office, I checked my messages. Mom had already called twice. My sister Emma, Dad's favorite and head of legal compliance, was probably drafting desperate measures to challenge the takeover. But it was too late. I'd spent 3 years planning this, building Quantum Edge while they underestimated me, positioning pieces while they dismissed me as the family disappointment. Now they would learn what that disappointment could do. My phone buzzed. CNBC wanted an interview. Young hedge fund manager engineers billion-dollar takeover, their headline read. Below it, a subtitle, Sarah Anderson becomes youngest female CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I smiled, stepping into my new office. The view of Manhattan stretched out before me, and somewhere in Midtown, my father was probably calling every lawyer he knew. Let him try. I owned his company, his board seats, and his precious corner office. Not bad for a disappointment. The next morning, Anderson Global's lobby was chaos. News crews camped outside the glass doors, their satellite trucks lining Wall Street. Inside, security struggled to maintain order as employees arrived, many clutching boxes of personal items, uncertain if they still had jobs. I watched from the executive elevator's camera feed on my phone. Patricia, make sure everyone below VP level knows their positions are secure, I instructed. And have HR send out the enhanced benefits package announcement by 10 a.m. Already done, she replied, efficient as ever. Also, your father's lawyer has called 6 times. They are demanding an emergency shareholder meeting. I smiled, stepping into my new office, formerly Dad's sacred domain. The pretentious oil paintings were gone, replaced by digital displays showing real-time market data. Remind them that as 73% shareholder, I declined the meeting request. My phone buzzed. Emma. My perfect sister, Harvard law grad, always Dad's favorite. I let it go to voicemail. Ms. Anderson, Patricia appeared in the doorway. The remaining executives are gathered in conference room A. And, your mother is here. I paused, surprised. Mom hadn't set foot in Anderson Global since the divorce 10 years ago. Send her in. She entered moments later, still elegant in Chanel, her expression unreadable. Nice office, she said, looking around. Though the technology makes it feel more like NASA than a banking firm. Banking is technology now, I replied. That's what Dad never understood. She sat down, crossing her legs carefully. Your father called me last night. He was distraught. Distraught that his plan to fire me backfired? Or distraught that his country club buddies now answered to his irresponsible daughter? Sarah, she sighed, was this really necessary? Taking over the entire company. I pulled up our performance charts on the wall display. Look at these numbers, Mom. Under Dad's leadership, we were becoming irrelevant. While fintech companies revolutionized the industry, he was still bragging about his handshake deals and 3 martini lunches. And Quantum Edge? 3 years you kept that secret. Had to, I shrugged. The minute Dad knew I was running a hedge fund, he would have done everything possible to sabotage it. Just like he sabotaged every other initiative I proposed here. My phone buzzed again, Emma's third attempt. Mom noticed. Your sister's worried. The legal department is in shambles. The legal department enabled Dad's outdated practices. They are first on my restructuring list. Ms. Anderson, Patricia interrupted via intercom. The executives are getting restless. And Goldman Sachs is on line 1 about the merger rumors. Mom raised an eyebrow. Merger rumors. Quantum Edge didn't just buy Anderson Global for revenge, I stood up. We bought it because with proper leadership and technology integration, it's worth 10 times its current value. Goldman wants to discuss financing options for our expansion plans. Sarah Lauren Anderson, Mom used my full name, something she hadn't done since I was 12. What exactly are you planning? Before I could answer, Emma burst in, her designer suit slightly disheveled. This is insane, she announced. Do you have any idea what you're doing to this company? To our family. Our family. I laughed. You mean the family that made me report to my younger cousin because Dad didn't trust me with major accounts? The family that shot down every modernization proposal I made? That family. Those proposals were reckless. Emma shot back. AI-driven trading algorithms? Blockchain-based settlements? Automated risk assessment? Dad was protecting the company. No, he was protecting his ego. I pulled up more data. Look at these numbers, Emma. You're head of legal, or were. While Dad and his board were protecting their precious traditional banking, we lost 40% of our under 40 clients to fintech startups. Ms. Anderson, Patricia again. Goldman is holding, and the executives. Tell Goldman I'll call back, I instructed. And inform the executives that their meeting is now with our new Chief Innovation Officer. Maya's presenting our digital transformation roadmap. Maya Rodriguez. Emma's eyes widened. The whistleblower who exposed trading violations at First Capital? Dad specifically blacklisted her. Dad blacklisted her because she threatened his cozy relationship with First Capital's board. I hired her because she's brilliant and understands where banking is headed. Mom stood up, smoothing her skirt. Sarah, whatever you're planning is already in motion, I finished. As we speak, our AI trading system is being integrated with our risk management platforms. By market close, we'll be processing trades 300 times faster than last week. The regulatory implications alone, Emma began, are covered, I cut her off. Unlike Dad, I actually read the SEC's fintech guidelines. Everything we're doing is fully compliant. In fact, I checked my watch. The SEC chairman is calling in an hour to discuss using our system as a model for modernizing trading regulations. Emma sank into a chair, her legal mind finally grasping the scope of what I'd planned. This isn't just about taking over Anderson Global, is it? You're completely transforming it. Anderson Global is dead, I stated flatly. As of next week, we're rebranding as Quantum Financial Technologies. The merger rumors Goldman's calling about? We're not merging with anyone. We're acquiring our competitors. My phone buzzed again, Dad's number this time. On my screens, I could see our stock price climbing as merger speculation spread through the market. The board meeting yesterday wasn't just about firing you, Emma said quietly. Dad was going to announce his succession plan. He was naming me as his replacement. I know, I replied. Just like I knew about the termination plan 3 months ago. Why do you think I timed Quantum Edge share acquisition to the minute? Mom looked between us, decades of family dynamics shifting in real time. Your father won't stop fighting this, she warned. Dad can fight all he wants. I own 73% of voting shares, our tech patents, and as of an hour ago, the Anderson family name in all financial contexts. I turned to Emma. By the way, the legal department restructuring starts today. Your replacement arrives at noon. You're firing me too. No, I'm promoting you. You're brilliant, Emma, when you're not being Dad's puppet. If you want it, you're our new Chief Legal Innovation Officer, reporting directly to me. But it means actually reading those fintech regulations instead of just saying no to everything that scares the old guard. Emma blinked, surprised. Before she could respond, Patricia entered with a tablet. Final numbers from yesterday. Stock up 78% on acquisition news. Trading volume highest in company history. Oh, and your father is in the lobby with his lawyers. I smiled, turning to my mother and sister. Stay if you want to watch the show. Dad's about to learn that his little girl didn't just take his company, she's going to transform the entire industry he thought he ruled. Ms. Anderson, Patricia asked, should I remind security about your father's revoked access? No, I said. Let him come. He should see what his irresponsible daughter has done. The lobby feed showed Dad with his lawyers. At the same time, our stock price climbed higher. By the time he reached me, he'd learn I hadn't just beaten him, I had rebuilt the industry he ruled for 40 years. He stormed down the hall with 3 lawyers. Employees watched nervously from their desks. I stayed calm, reviewing numbers. Mom and Emma sat beside me, waiting. This ends now, Dad shouted. I have court orders. From Judge Harrison. I cut in. Your old golf buddy? He has no power here. Patricia handed the lawyers tablets. Anderson Global is now registered in Delaware. Those New York orders mean nothing. The lead lawyer frowned. That's impossible. The board must approve. I own 73%, I said. I am the board. Dad reddened. You think you can just? I already have. I switched on the wall screens. Data filled the displays. Our AI trading system processed more trades in 1 hour than you did in a whole quarter. AI trading is dangerous, Dad argued. Not with 278 patents, I replied. Patents your company desperately needs. The lawyer tried to talk compromise. I stopped him. Last time you advised Dad to cut my budget and plot against me. I knew everything. Why do you think Quantum Edge bought shares through shell companies? My phone buzzed. Goldman Sachs again. The stock hit another record. You clung to the past, I said. I built the future. Dad frowned. What announcement? Patricia entered. Bloomberg is running it now. The screen showed breaking news. Anderson Global merges with Quantum Edge. Value, $100 billion. Dad sank into a chair. Emma whispered, that's impossible. It's what happens when you merge clients with technology, I said. Lawyers whispered in panic. The stock rose higher. Ms. Anderson, Patricia announced, the SEC and the Fed are on the line. The Chinese delegation is waiting. China? Mom asked. Yes. They want our systems across Asia. You're selling to China? Dad asked. No, I said. I'm selling globally. Anderson's old systems are shutting down right now. Emma stared. You planned this all? Every detail. The board will fight you, Dad said. What board? I pulled up the new chart. Meet the experts who replaced them. The lawyer sighed. Mr. Anderson, she controls everything. Dad snapped. What do you want? Money? Title? I laughed. I already run $100 billion company. I don't need your scraps. Then why? He demanded. To save this company before it dies. My phone buzzed again, this time, the White House. Patricia, I said, escort them out. Revoke Dad's access. This isn't over, Dad warned. It is, I said. At midnight, Anderson Global is gone. My future begins. Security led them away. I turned to the lawyers. Your services are no longer needed. Emma stood. The job you offered me starts now, I told her. But you'll work for me, not Dad. She hesitated, then nodded. Ms. Anderson, Patricia returned. The Fed is holding, and CNBC wants an exclusive. I watched Dad leaving, his legacy crumbling. Sarah, Mom said, he may never forgive you. Maybe not, I answered, watching the stock soar. But history will remember this day. Emma whispered, you're going to change everything. No, I smiled. I already have.